Broadcasting more than 2,000 games live and archived in 15 sports in over 10 counties in western Pennsylvania, as well as being the exclusive home for all the WPIHL playoffs and championships for nearly 2 decades. Anytime, anywhere, always there. We are the new Trib Live High School Sports Network.
Welcome to coverage of the 2018 PIHL Penguins Cup Playoffs, only here on the Trib Live High School Sports Network. The high school hockey playoffs at tribhssn.triblive.com are sponsored by UPMC Sports Medicine, by Excella Health, by Seton Hill University, by J&J Distributing, by the Mount Lebanon Ice Arena, by 380 Discount Warehouse, by AstroTurf, by Carlow University, and by Trib Total Media.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the RMU Island Sports Center. It is the Class AAA PIHL Penguins Cup semifinals. And first on the docket tonight, the North Allegheny Tigers, the 4 seed, facing off against the top-seeded Peters Township Indians. I'm Randy Gore along with Lee Mohn for tonight's broadcast. North Allegheny, as we mentioned, the 4 seed, finishing the regular season with an 11-7 record, a couple of overtime losses. The Tigers hoping for a 3rd Penguins Cup title and first PIHL crown since the 2013 season. Peters Township, meanwhile, they're the reigning champs in Class AAA. And the Indians last year won it as the 6th seed. This year they're the top seed with a 14-4 regular season mark. The Indians coming off a hard-fought win in the quarterfinals. The 8th-seeded Plum Mustangs giving the Indians all they could handle, but the Indians victorious nonetheless, 2-1. Out shooting Plum 41-15. Torrey Schwartz and Connor Gilorowski scoring goals for the Indians in that victory. Jeffrey Poon also with a couple of assists in that win. North Allegheny, meanwhile, an 8-3 win, convincing victory in the quarterfinals against the Butler Golden Tornado. Aaron Miller with a hat trick in that contest for North Allegheny. Lee Mohn, these two teams, proud hockey traditions. And this is actually the 3rd straight year these teams have met in the semifinals in the Class AAA playoffs, so pretty much no surprise there.
Yeah, and then plus they split in the regular season, too. North Allegheny went on a 5-1 game, and Peters Township shutting out North Allegheny earlier 3-0. So they know each other very, very well, and it should be fun here tonight.
Of the last 2 playoff meetings, North Allegheny winning in 2016, a 4-3 overtime win. Cameron Zahn scored the game winner in the extra session. The Tigers ultimately falling to Erie Cathedral Prep in the Class AAA title game, 4-3, same score in overtime. Then last year, the Indians winning in a rout, 7-0. Connor Gilorowski and Jeremy Anthos with a couple of goals each. Alex Wilbert, who was the hot goaltender last year for the Indians, a freshman then. He had 27 saves for the shutout. He's a sophomore now, one of 4 goaltenders for the Indians this year. We'll get to that in a little bit. But Peters Township went on to not only beat Central Catholic for the PIHL title 5-2, but also defeated Holy Ghost Prep 2-1 for the state crown. And Lee, when we talk about traditions, had an opportunity pregame to speak with Rick Tingle, the longtime head coach of the Peters Township Indians, and asked him about the season and the team getting to this point. And he said really candidly about the expectations for this Peters Township program is to be here in the semifinals, and they always have their eye on the Penguins Cup Championship. They won it last year as the 6th seed. Obviously, a lot of experience coming to this year, so they want to try and repeat as not only Penguins Cup but Pennsylvania Cup champions. You certainly have to appreciate the culture that is built here, really for both programs, but especially for the reigning champion Indians.
Let's go with the quote. Oh, hum, right? No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, I mean, it is quite the program they have. They start from down low, and I mean, they really build a great program at Peters Township, and it's nice to have those expectations and meet those expectations every year, which is a great thing for Peters Township. It's a very, very good hockey program, and they're trying to get back to down at Lemieux Place in Cranberry on Tuesday night.
Absolutely. The championship in Class AAA will be played next week. That'll be a Tuesday night affair, March 20th at the UPMC Lemieux Sports Complex. The winner of this game will face the winner between Seneca Valley and Cathedral Prep. That is the 2 seed versus the 3 seed. So no upsets in the first round in Class AAA. It's all been chalk so far through the brackets. And we'll see how things go tonight here in the PIHL Penguins Cup semifinals, again in Class AAA. We're going to take a pregame break. When we come back, we'll take a look at some of the individuals for both of these two teams when we return on the Trib Live High School Sports Network.
Own your piece of hockey history with a Penguins game-used jersey. Visit J&J Distributing at www.jjdistributing.biz and check out one of their largest selections of Penguins game-worn jerseys from your favorite Pens, past and present. Or call 724-752-1556. J&J Distributing buys, sells, and trades some of hockey's most prized possessions, including the Penguins game-worn jerseys, Penguins practice jerseys, minor league jerseys, and new and game-used equipment. Browse their inventory today at www.jjdistributing.biz.
Hit the ice at Mount Lebanon Ice Center, offering the most comprehensive instructional programs in the area, including hockey, figure skating, and learn-to-skate classes for all ages and ability levels. Classes start soon along with senior and developmental hockey leagues. Mount Lebanon Ice Center also hosts Friday night teen skates and Friday after-school skates for younger children. Birthday party packages also available. Mount Lebanon Ice Center, serving the South Hills for more than 35 years. Call 412-561-4363 or go to mountlebanon.org.
At Athletic Training, we personalize the training sessions for any athlete in any sport. We pride ourselves on preparing our athletes for their upcoming seasons. We offer 60-minute personal training sessions for both male and female athletes. As a former NFL player and coach, we'll provide you with a realistic expectation both athletically and academically as you prepare to meet your goals on the field and in the classroom. Call 412-713-4550 to schedule a free training session and let Athletic Training put you on your road to success. Train the Ethic way today.
And welcome back to the RMU Island Sports Center. I'm Randy Gore along with Lee Mohn. The rest of our broadcast crew tonight are video director Hannah Lepiska, running the score bug and doing many other things as well. Jess Levo running camera tonight, Chelsea Roundtree and Sadie Rylander. So this is a great crew that we have gathered here together tonight with what should be a couple of great semifinal games tonight. And again, first on the docket, North Allegheny and Peters Township. The Zamboni on the ice right now, so we'll have some players out there skating on the fresh ice momentarily. But let's tell you about some of the players in tonight's game. And this is going to be an exciting one because these two teams traditionally strong in defense, but they also have terrific goal scorers and skill players. We'll talk about the skill players first. For North Allegheny, junior forward Aaron Miller, an all-star. He's really taken over the offense for North Allegheny, led the team in the regular season with 17 goals. He had a hat trick in the quarterfinals. And when we talked with Rick Tingle, Peters Township's coach, about North Allegheny, he had described Miller and the rest of this Tigers team. He said there are no weaknesses with this North Allegheny group. They have a lot of skill and balance up and down the lineup, and they're so good defensively, which is why they're so tough to beat. So certainly a lot of respect from Coach Tingle for the North Allegheny Tigers and Aaron Miller and the defensemen, Tyler Duderstadt, Bernardo Vieira, among others, and those are a couple of all-stars as well. They're a big reason why.
Yeah, without a doubt. And both these teams are balanced. And this time of year, you expect the big teams to have the balance, those three lines that can play, possibly four. And it's nice to see. But see which team. You expect a defensive battle here tonight, but you never know when the puck drops. So.
And when we talked with both coaches, Mike Bagnato as well for North Allegheny, it's really a toss-up as to how this game goes because Peters Township finished second in Class AAA in the regular season in goals against, 41. The Tigers allowed 42 goals, just behind third lowest in Class AAA. But again, the skill players is what makes this kind of an unusual game to predict. You can't be sure which way this game's going to head. As far as the Peters Township skill players, looking at some of the All-Stars, Jake Deemer and Connor Gilorowski. And Gilorowski, a player in particular, he and Tori Schwartz, they both tied for the team lead in points, both with 24. Gilorowski, a player, has great hands and quickness, but he's also big and strong as well. So you add that, he's really a complete package, which is why he has been so difficult to stop this season and throughout his career.
Yeah, those top two guys, I'm sure they'll be on the same line also. So. Very, very good talented players here at Peters Township.
And Tori Schwartz, another. He was 6th in Class AAA with 13 goals. And a player that is Coach Mike Bagnato of North Allegheny, in describing Schwartz, he said he's a player who's always around the puck. And from the North Allegheny perspective, they are hoping to be physical with Schwartz to try and keep him from getting into his rhythm, if at all possible. So we talked about some of the scorers for both teams. Now the goalkeepers. For Peters Township, take your pick.
Yeah, which one of the four?
There are 4 keepers for Peters Township this year that have logged playing time, that have logged victories. The top 2 that could be in net tonight, and we don't know who it's going to be. Rick Tingle did not tip his hand, but it will either be Adam Hewlett, who was the winning goalie in the quarterfinals and also an All-Star this season, or it could be Wilbert, who had the win, Alex Wilbert, who had the win earlier this season against North Allegheny, and also he was the key player, or one of the key players last year in that improbable run as the 6th seed a season ago to the Penguins Cup and Pennsylvania Cup title, because Wilbert then was a freshman. It was one where Coach Tingle, and it's funny, as coaches, you have to ride the hot hand, or in some cases go with your hunch. It's to use baseball references like Chuck Tanner. Sometimes you got to put Kent Tekulve in left field to win a ball game. Well, how does that work? But you just have to play your hunch. And so, that's what Coach Tingle did last year, and boy, did he look like a genius.
Yeah, hey, you never know. Whatever you feel in a certain night, and that's what North Allegheny's been doing. I mean, Ryan Heil was the starter there for a while, but now they're going with Richard Carapandy, who's been just playing lights out the last few games, and I'm sure we'll be seeing Carapandy here again tonight. Carapandy's the junior, Heil's the senior, but right now the coach feels like Carapandy's playing a little bit better, so they're going to go with Carapandy.
Yeah, very interesting, because as we described, both coaches in that predicament where you're trying to ride that hot hand. And again, for Coach Mike Bagnato, it's going to be Richard Carapandy tonight. That has been confirmed by Coach Bagnato, and he's been the guy down the stretch. He had 7 wins in the regular season with a 2.10 goals against average. In the junior, he's just been fantastic. And Ryan Heil, he's a 2-time All-Star. He's a senior. And when we talked with Coach Bagnato last week before the N.A. Butler game in the quarterfinals, he said, it's one where it's really an extremely difficult decision, but it's also one where you're trying to do the best, make the best choice for your team. And again, Carapandy, he's been so good down the stretch. So Carapandy, we know we'll see in net tonight against Peters Township. For the Indians, we shall see. Right now we have warm-ups taking place. There's a look at Ryan Heil of the North Allegheny Tigers taking some warm-ups here on our video stream, and glad to have you with us here on the Trib Live High School Sports Network, and happy to be a part of it. And there's Richard Carapandy, who we spoke of a short time ago. He has just been terrific with his sub-3 goals against average. And Lee Mohn taking a look at the Peters Township keeper.
Right now it's Adam Hewlett, but Alex Wilbert was just in there for a couple, for a minute or so. So we're going to have no idea until after the anthem to find out who goes in that goal and find out for Peters Township. And does it really matter for North Allegheny who's in that goal or not? But I mean, maybe different styles, or maybe a different goalie might have a different weakness or something in that line. But it all comes down to stopping the puck anyway. So.
and the defensemen in front of those goalkeepers are pretty darn good as well, and that's why collectively you have 4 goalies this year for Peters Township with a minimum of 3 wins each.
That's amazing.
And then again, North Allegheny with an all-star who tonight is the backup keeper. And Richard Carapandi, who has 7 wins, he'll get the start tonight. So those defensemen obviously have been, you have to tip your cap to them and credit them as to what they have accomplished this year. Well, as we described, we had an opportunity to speak with both coaches, and as far as the keys to the game tonight, they're going to be similar for both groups. Move the puck, move your feet from the North Allegheny perspective, and also get traffic in front of the net and go to the net. That's what Coach Bagnato said. Talking with Coach Rick Tingle, he said, play tight in the defensive zone, convert on your opportunities, and also get to the net and get rebounds. So the key offensively, crash the net, make something happen. It's the playoffs. Goals are not going to come easy. We've seen enough of these games over the years, Lee Mohn, where we know the defenses are tough. These are 2 traditionally top defensive teams, so goals are going to be tough to come by. Not to say that will be an impossible feat, but getting the early lead will be important for either side.
Yeah, very important. These are 2 very, very good defensive teams, and 2 teams that know each other very well. Peters Township a little bit playing with that chip on their shoulder a little bit. We're coming in with that #1 seed this year, so we'll that 14-4 record, best record overall. So see how things play out here tonight.
Winner of this, as we mentioned, will play the winner between Seneca Valley and Cathedral Prep. That game will also be broadcast right here on the Trib Live High School Sports Network, as Sean Myers and Greg Findley, along with the rest of the broadcast crew, will bring you all the action. That one's scheduled to start at 9:15, but of course that all depends on how our game goes here. Is North Allegheny and Peters Township in the Class AAA PIHL Penguins Cup semifinals. Tigers hoping to punch their ticket to the Penguins Cup title for the first time since 2 years ago, and hoping to win their 3rd Penguins Cup crown. The Indians have won 6 Penguins Cup titles, 2002, 2003, 2004, 2005. All of those were in Class AA, and then 2 more in Class AAA, 2014, and of course last year, as the Indians are the reigning champions. The Indians, a little more background on them this year. Their trek to the postseason, won their first 6 games to open the year, have really been consistent throughout the season. Their only losses to Seneca Valley, North Allegheny, Cathedral Prep, and Butler. All of those teams were playoff teams, and 3 of the 4 still alive in the Final 4 of this Class AAA bracket, with, of course, Peters Township being one of the other 4 teams in the Final 4. So the Indians huddled up near their respective nets. The North Allegheny Tigers gathering around Richard Carapandi to our left in their respective net. The Tigers in the road black uniforms as the lower seeded team. They are the 4 seed. The Indians in the home whites as the higher seeded team. They are the top seed in Class AAA. We're going to take one more pregame break, and when we come back, we'll have the opening face-off when we return from the RMU Island Sports Center.
The team at UPMC Sports Medicine doesn't just rebuild wrists and knees. They build better athletes. Athletes at every level who want to get stronger and faster and prevent injuries. Fact is, no other sports medicine program in the region is more experienced when it comes to treating, training, and inspiring athletes. UPMC, the official healthcare provider of the Penguins, Steelers, and you. Find out more at upmcsportsmedicine.com.
AstroTurf, a pioneer in sports surfacing, proudly supports high school athletics. Visit one of their 280 fields in the tri-state area to see their cutting-edge technology. AstroTurf's focus on R&D enables them to provide innovative surfaces that protect athletes and stand the test of time. AstroTurf now propels performance with iconic turf fields and legendary Recor-Tan tracks. They manufacture, build, and maintain a full range of turf and track systems for total quality control. Learn more at astroturf.com.
And back at the RMU Island Sports Center, I'm Randy Gore along with Lee Mohn for the PIHL Penguins Cup Class AAA semifinals. North Allegheny and Peters Township. And also, you are watching this 2018 Penguins Cup High School Hockey Playoff broadcast, sponsored by the PIHL and only here on the Trib Live High School Sports Network. When we go final, and we're a long ways from that, but stay tuned after the broadcast. For those watching live, you can click on the PIHL Semifinals Hockey Highlights that will be posted on the Trib Live High School Sports Network website following the game. So make sure you stay tuned for that. This is really kind of the end of this semifinal week, if you will. We've had a ton of highlights, a ton of great games that have transpired thus far, and those games are all documented and highlighted on the Trib Live High School Sports Network website, so make sure you check that out. Lee Mohn, our goalkeeper for the Peters Township Indians, will be.
It looks like Alex Wobert's going to be playing. 4-3-1 record, 2.13 goals against average, and a 90.921 save percentage. And for North Allegheny, where you mentioned Richard Carapani, it's 7-3, a 2.1 goals against average with a .919 save percentage. Pretty much the same by both these goalies. How about the crowd for the great student section for North Allegheny off to our left, which I'm sure the camera will be zooming in sometime during our broadcast, and Peters Township off to our right. So got a packed house here.
Indeed, and we are underway. Opening draw won by the Peters Township Indians. And welcome in here on the Trib Live High School Sports Network as the Indians move the puck into the left quarter, played by Bernardo Vieira behind the North Allegheny net, swings along the far boards, and handled by Tyler Lamarck. He'll feed Putnam. Putnam trying to push it toward the net, but it deflects off an Indians defender and moved ahead along the near boards by Jake Deemer. And a wrister by Deemer, gloved by Carapandi. First shot on net of the night. Snatched out of the air by Richard Carapandi.
It's always nice to get that first shot early. Try to get into the game as quick as you possibly can and make that look easy. No rebound, which is such a key.
And always good for the keeper, as you had put it, Lee, to kind of get the jitters out, if you will. Just see that first shot, see it well. Clear look at it there for Carapandi on the stop on Jake Deemer, who was an all-star this year with 8 goals and 6 assists in the regular season. We do have a stoppage in play at the moment as the officials over toward the Peters Township bench.
Not too sure exactly what this is.
The scoreboard is out. That's our problem. So the scoreboard is no longer functioning. Our scoreboard here on the Trib Live High School Sports Network is functioning.
We work.
Absolutely.
Except our clock's running right now, and it shouldn't be.
Well, we don't know what the clock should be at this point, so I'm sure that'll be rectified momentarily.
We'll find out. It was 16:30 when I looked up. So there it is right now, except I looked up and it's 16:40.
So 20 seconds into the game, and now we'll have our next draw to the right of Carapandi for the left wing circle. And the ball will trickle out to Vincenzo Mazer. Trying to start an on-man rush, but unable to do so, courtesy of the Peters Township defense. A couple of players there for the Tigers lose their skates, but the Indians send it up to center red, but taken right back by Tyler Duderstadt. Feeds it along the near boards toward the right quarter, where it's retrieved by Peters Township's Andrew Wilbert. And out to the neutral zone. Tigers gather it back in. Justin Simons moves in toward the left corner, takes a good check from Ryan Lee, knocked off his skates. And then the Indians again move it to the neutral zone and beyond. Icing waved off as it's played by Carapandi. And a wrister by Simons, looking for a line change here, North Allegheny.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how the referees call this game, too, with the semifinal game. If it's going to be a tightly called game, or they'll let them play a little bit. Look out.
Oh, a takeaway by Schwartz, and he's one of the dangerous ones. Had a goal last week in the quarterfinals at a 2-1 win against Plum, but unable to get a shot on net. Now the Indians 2-on-1, unable to get the backhand there was Torrey Schwartz, but the puck kept in. Out near the blue line by John Sable. Wrister by Gilorowski, blocked by Carapandi. Schwartz trying for a wraparound, can't get the backhand to reach net, and then swung along the near boards by the Indians, keeping the pressure on.
Putnam without a stick.
Oh, and a goal. Anthos with a deflection in front on a high stick. No goal.
No goal. Does not count. Yeah, let's see who that was.
Anthos deflected it, but it won't count. He deflected it with the high stick.
High stick just a little bit. We'll see we catch that.
We stay scoreless in the first as the scoreboard again no
goes
longer
out.
functioning. Hopefully that is not a recurring theme here tonight. So we will have a face-off as here's another look at that would-be goal that won't count. Price sent it toward the net, and there you see the high stick by Anthos, and immediately waved off. Yeah.
And you can see immediately that Carapani said, no way, that's not going to count.
Indians win the draw. Turkovic trying to play it back by North Allegheny. Good forecheck by Jake Majestic for the Indians, and now a takeaway. Wrister on net by Raymore, stopped by Carapani, still scoreless early on in the first period.
Yeah, when we get to this time of the year, too, in the semifinals, those extracurricular activities seem to be a little less because you don't want to jeopardize the team with power plays.
Turkovic kind of fanning on the clearing effort, taken away by the Indians. Deemer, Wrister, blocked in front by Tigers defenseman. Turkovic now will feed it ahead to Morrison. Matthew Morrison able to avoid a check near the blue line, backhands it into the Indian zone. Tigers go for a line change. Indians hammer it hard off the near boards where it's played by Nathaniel Heil. He missed last week's game with a concussion against Butler, but he is back tonight. And talking with Mike Bagnato of North Allegheny, this is the first time all season North Allegheny has been completely healthy. Here's Vincenzo Mazer as the puck poke checked away by Crean. It's still getting it behind the Indians' net, that briefly so. O'Neal now in a scrum in the right quarter. Hard check laid on by Deemer. That'll start the rush. Here comes Anthos. Leaves the puck for Schwartz. Wrister blocked with the right leg pad. Carapani.
Strong save.
Young Wrister hits the back of Simons. Puck still loose. And eventually cleared out by North Allegheny. And Vincenzo Mazer just dumps the puck in.
Boy, Deemer's having himself a strong first period for Peters Township.
Now still in the opening minutes of this game, but the Indians certainly have had the better of the time in the North Allegheny zone.
Get our clocks back on.
Wrister Miller stopped by the keeper Wilbert for Peters Township, the sophomore.
Trying to go 5-hole.
Heil able to keep it in out near the top left point. Centering pass taken away by Peters Township. Heil can't keep it in this time, and look out. Here comes Andrew Wilbert. Wrister over the crossbar.
Boy, what a shot by him. Trying to go top shelf, just shot it up high.
Early in the Class AAA Penguins Cup semifinals. Some probing shots in the early going. Indians have had the better of the scoring opportunities thus far, as Duderstadt able to knock down the puck and feed it to Lamarck. Wrister stopped by Wilbert. Backhand Morrison puts it on net, then it's smothered by Wilbert.
There's a little bit of that extracurricular activity. Boy, that's a nice save there by Wilbert. It looked like he was screened on that shot too, so they tried to go low. Boy, made a nice save. Gave up a little bit of a rebound, was able to get that rebound and make the nice save, so no score here.
And part of what both coaches talked with us pregame about, get to the net and get in front of the net and try and distract those keepers. Here's a slap shot that is whistled wide left by Koros, Kian Scott Koros of North Allegheny. That sets up the Indians in transition. They are very good in transition. Behind the net, Deemer feeds Raymore. Couldn't settle the puck with his right skate. Crean trying to keep it in, cannot. Deflected back out by Shimko of North Allegheny.
Boy, he was open too in the middle. Raymore had a chance.
Right wing circle. Puck taken away by North Allegheny. Puck will settle onto the stick of Shimko and flutters it ahead into the neutral zone. Indians move it back to the neutral zone. Koros will take command. Both teams for a line change. Scoreless in the first period. Paraguayer will chip the puck in behind the net where it's chased after by Mitchell Crean, an all-star defenseman for Peters Township. Lost to Shimko. Check that Mazer rather in the left quarter for North Allegheny. Can't get a centering pass though as Crean moves it ahead. Crean pass to Schwartz. Schwartz cross ice pass. Anthos backhand stopped by Carapani rather easily, and now Turkovic trying to weave through traffic, takes a hard hit. Puck still in the Tiger zone, then moved out with the backhand courtesy of Justin Simons.
Yeah, Peters Township doing a very, very good job with the forecheck right now. He had 3 players in their original, in that last rush.
Now it's Sean Parks. Parks backhands it. Kind of a knuckler there, but it's glove knocked down and then smothered by Alex Wilbert. Alex Wilbert, the sophomore keeper for Peters Township. Last year as a freshman, he was part of the effort in not only winning the Penguins Cup title, but the Pennsylvania Cup championship. His head coach Rick Tingle went with the then freshman, played his hunch, and boy, did that work to perfection. And Wilbert gets the start tonight in net as the Tigers feed it in behind the Indians' cage, but that only briefly. Tigers will try it again. O'Neal plays it on net. Handed off by Wilbert to Crean. Across the blue line, but Parks as the puck flutter back toward him. Jeffrey Poon plays it out toward the center red line and moved in behind the North Allegheny net courtesy of Mark Lehman, forward for Peters Township. Now you get the sense, Lee, that the Tigers have now kind of settled into this game. It was mostly all Indians in the early going, but Raymore wrister stopped. Puck still loose in front. Raymore with a backhand in traffic. That misses the cage. Lehman now sends it in front, but that deflected away by Tigers defenseman and then out of play to the mesh netting over top of the North Allegheny net. But boy, Raymore had a couple of great chances just moments ago.
Yeah, without a doubt, he threw a backhand just wide, and boy, that puck was dangerously out there. And Carapani making one nice save. Yeah, unofficially, I was sort of surprised. We'll wait till the Tigers clear here. That unofficially, Tigers were leading on shots on goal, which is sort of surprising considering the domination that the Peters Townships had in the first few minutes. As the save made there by Wilbert.
Paraguayer getting the shot on net, but again a save by Wilbert. But in terms of scoring chances, and we'll call that an unofficial stat, scoring chances certainly go the way of the Indians thus far, or quality scoring chances at this point. But the goalkeepers have been up to the test so far, as it is still scoreless in the first period. And this is, we expected a close game. Puck sent in front. Paraguayer trying to get a stick on it, but Wilbert again able to make the stop.
Yeah, got a stick on it, but unfortunately slowed it down too much. Didn't get a really good deflection. It just sort of trickled in. But again, out front, causing the problems.
And that's where, with these two teams, great goalkeepers, great defenses, you just keep throwing the puck at the net, put some traffic in front, and hope that maybe something strange happens and you get that early lead. You can think back to the PIHL Championship game in 2013. These same two teams, in fact, it was North Allegheny who had won it 2-0, but the clinching goal is a save made by Carapandi on a backhand attempt there by the Indians. But the game clinching goal was kind of a fluky one, as the Tigers won it 2-0 that night back in 2013. Another look there on that wrister by Deemer, backhander, excuse me, by Deemer.
Yeah, both goalies playing very well, not letting the rebounds go. I mean, they're not taking any chances whatsoever.
Indians off the draw, played across the rink in the slot with Schwartz. Couldn't get a stick on it, though. Korean backhands it. Gilorowski, wrister, and a goal. Peters Township takes the early lead, 1-0.
Gilorowski had the shot. Whether it was tipped in or not by Schwartz, we'll see. It went through 5-hole. The puck coming in out to the top of the circle. Now going into that left wing, and the shot by Gilorowski. Was it tipped or not, Randy? We will find out from the official announcement.
Look clean. Yeah, look clean for Gilorowski. And he scored a goal. That's his second of the playoffs. He scored in the quarterfinal win as we get the official announcement.
Yep.
And it is Connor Gilorowski with the goal. He had 9 in the regular season, his second of the playoffs.
So Poon with 1 assist.
Poon and Crean on the assist, so the Gilorowski goal, and the Indians on top 1-0 as the puck up near the rafters, and that considered out of play.
And that's what we were talking about earlier, that who gets that 1-goal lead, how are they going to respond? It's so big to get that 1-goal lead. Official time of the goal, 7:23. So Peters Township, that all-important first goal.
Yeah, with the quality defenses involved in this game, you love to have that early advantage. Not to say that the game is won at this point, but it really puts the pressure on the opponent from this point on. Shimko trying to start a rush. 2-on-2 here for North Allegheny. Morrison with Shimko to his left. Puck angled behind the net. Shimko gathers it in, puts it on the stick of Vieira. Behind the net. In front, centering pass, rebound, and somehow Wilbert makes the save.
Yeah, Morrison, pinpoint play.
Now Lehman, 2-on-1. Lehman wrister to goal. He picks the top right shelf for Peters Township. 2-0 Indians.
Yeah, it was the 2-on-1, and as he saw the defenseman go down and Koros went down, boy, just snapped that in the top shelf. What a great goal. You see him coming in. And Lehman just snapping it right. Perfect shot, top shelf. So Peters Township, 2 quick goals, making it 2-0.
Mark Lehman.
Pretty shot.
He had 3 goals in the regular season. That is his first of the playoffs.
They're going to get Lehman unassisted.
And now a backhander by the Indians. And boy, the Indians buzzing right now. Underwood with that backhand attempt. Trying to pour it on here as the Tigers stunned at the moment. And the Indians up 2-0.
The official time of that goal is 8:32. So 51 seconds later, they get that second goal. Boy, how big is that?
Indians keeping the heat on. Draw one by North Allegheny. Kept in by Peters Township. Duderstadt can't clear it on the backhand. Underwood jammed up by the Tigers defense. Out to Mazer near the red line. 1-on-2, doesn't have the numbers. Indians turn him the other way.
Boy, Tigers going to need a spark here. Halfway through this first period, an icing call.
That puck and icing on North Allegheny. And so we'll have a draw to the left of Karapandi. Indians on top by 2. Connor Gilorowski and Mark Lehman with the first 2 goals of the night. Well, we talked about the importance of the early lead. To get a 2-goal lead is gigantic for Peters Township in the first period.
Yeah, it's huge.
Puck out of play. And we'll have another quick face-off.
Still impressed with the crowd here tonight. I mean, those are watching at home or on your phone or any other device you're watching this game. Thanks for joining us, but unable to see. I mean, we got just a great packed house here tonight, which is great to see. I don't know where the Seneca Valley area prep fans are. They're going to have to wait till this game's done. There's no room. I'm glad we're roped off here.
Our spots are secure.
Yeah, that's a good thing.
2-0 Peters Township. As the Tigers trying to build a 2-on-2 rush. Tyler Putnam into the right corner. Backhanded toward the front of the net by the Indians. Wrister by North Allegheny's Nathaniel Heil was off target. Tigers get it back. Lamarck, and now we have a whistle.
Don't know if there's a penalty coming or referees are going to talk things over.
Talk about this one.
Yeah, we're roped off, but we got Jess Levo guarding us though, so don't rely on her.
Well, I don't know that her official status tonight is security, but Jess Levo running the show here tonight along with director Hannah Lepiska. On camera, Chelsea Roundtree and Sadie Rylander. So the cast and crew doing a fantastic job for this video stream tonight here on the Trib Live High School Sports Network. And the problem is the scoreboard and clock are off again, and that's why we had the stoppage. So that has been, unfortunately, a familiar occurrence here tonight.
It's unusual for a Robert Morris complex right now, and the referees are going to go over and talk. Like, do we continue this on or without the clock or not?
Well, Lamarck, and I'm sure Mike Bagnato's frustrated. His team's trailing right now, but the Indians were actually on the attack there. So this stoppage breaks up a scoring opportunity.
Just had the referee break out his phone, put the spurt,
your
the
clock
feed
app?
on the feed on the clock app on here, and he can watch the game and referee at the same time. Got the clock on right here.
Well, they could just check with us because we've got the clock right here on the video
7
streams.
Yeah, it's unusual. So the referees are going to try to decide what to do here.
Yeah, they may decide to just try and keep the time on the ice.
Yeah, because ice time is so precious here in these rinks also. You want to keep things on time.
Well, while we do have this stoppage, it'll give me an opportunity to talk about something that I'm sure, Lee, you will remember from last year, but some of the Indians, actually you can't really quite see it now because they all have their helmets on, but they all have their hair dyed blonde again.
That's right.
And that was a tradition that started last year with the team. And so they kept that going. I asked, what's the reason for this season? They said, well, it's tradition now. And, well, we won the Penguins Cup Championship and Pennsylvania Cup Championship last year.
Why
so,
not?
Yeah, keep it going. And so they did, and they have. And, well, here they are in the semifinals for the 10th straight year, the Peters Township Indians. And, again, this is the third consecutive year these two teams have hooked up in the semifinals. The Tigers have a fine tradition of their own when it comes to ice hockey, a couple of PIHL crowns, both of those coming in 2007 and 2013. The Tigers went on to win the states both of those years, as well as you get a look at the North Allegheny crowd. Lee, you were speaking about the strong contingent of North Allegheny fans and Peters Township fans, and a good representation there from North Allegheny here tonight. And with some of those guys, do they realize it's cold in here?
No, they don't. They don't. And by the way, coming up in the Triple Live High School Sports Network over the weekend, too, some of the state quarterfinal basketball games going on tomorrow night and Saturday night. So go to the Triple Live High School site and click on the broadcast. I'm sure North Allegheny's in there. I know WBVP will be doing Quaker Valley. WJST will be doing the Newcastle, or WKST will be doing the Newcastle games. So there's going to be a lot of basketball on the network. And if any of the WPL teams make it to Hershey, I'm sure we will have that broadcast. Won't be video streamed, but we will have the broadcast on the Triple Live High School Sports Network. And local newspapers think they're predicting 3 teams to get out to Hershey right now. So hopefully we'll get more District 7 teams out to Hershey for the basketball championships. But the hockey championships will be video streamed on Monday and Tuesday next week here in Cranberry, which hopefully we will not have a clock issue.
Yes, that's why we are stopped currently. And it looks like we're going to continue on with a working clock. So the clock just...
One clock.
Well, one clock's working to our left.
So if you jump high, Randy, you can see the clock. Actually, we got a video stream here, so we can see ours.
We're fine because, we are...
We got our great crew here.
We are spoiled and pampered here with this video stream.
Anyone else, you get a duck below the heater vents.
All right, well, we're back in action now, and North Allegheny trailing by 2. Trying to get something going, but the Indians won't allow that to happen. Good defense leads to a transition offense. Anthos along the near boards, backhands it off the side of the cage. Puck sent to the far boards where it's corralled by North Allegheny. Tyler Putnam swings it around the horn behind the net. Young for Peters Township. Dangerous pass. Tigers keep it in. Wrister, save made by Wilbert on that wrister by Turkovich. North Allegheny still keeping the puck in. Good effort there by Hayden Shimko. Shimko, one of those Tigers recently returning from injury. Trying to catch Peters Township in a line change. Justin Simons unable to get to the puck, but he will keep it in off the far boards. Now the Indians, almost leading to another breakaway there with Andrew Wilbert, but Tigers prevent that at least for the time being. Now it's Lehman, who has 1 goal tonight and a 2-0 advantage for Peters Township. He is leveled along the boards to our left by Tyler Duderstedt.
Good, clean, hard check. Problem was Lehman was going down a little bit, so it looked a lot worse.
Lehman and Duderstedt with a little greeting once again. Tigers clear to the neutral zone. Indians pound it back in, courtesy of Mitchell Crean.
Tigers are starting to get a little bit more physical right now.
Now, to a certain degree, You'd like to do that if you're North Allegheny as the puck trickles toward Karapandy. It's settled onto the stick of Bernardo Vieira, but you want to try and throw these skill players for Peters Township. You rattle them a little bit. It's certainly not the game for either side to get too physical, but you want to at least kind of break their rhythm. Now it's a wrister. Paraguayer still loose. It's swatted out of the air to the near boards.
Yeah, boy, that puck almost going in the goal there. It looked like Watkins had a chance out front.
Yeah, Will Paraguayer was the one who put it on net. Now Watkins with a steal in the right corner. Centering pass goes through everyone. Turkovic, though, passes it right side. Heil. Puck stopped by Raymore, then clears it. Now the Indians trying to gather a break. Deemer loses his skates, loses his edge. And the Tigers now, Aaron Miller, check behind the play. As Miller trying to weave through defenders, doing it all on his own. But he's hit hard, knocked down to the ice. Trying to bank it in from behind one of the Tigers. That was Putnam, and now we've got more physicality in front as well. Lee, you called it. Things getting a little more chippy here over the last few minutes.
That looked like just a good, strong play by Aaron Miller for North Allegheny at the end of the play, just pushing the Peters Township. I mean, not really pushing them down, but a good hard check at the end of that play. You can see Miller and Green doing battle, and Miller just pushed him to the ground. It's a good no call, I think.
Yeah, I think it was one, now getting a look at the replay there, I think it was one that looked worse than it actually was. Crean kind of just was off his edge and was off balance to begin with. Simon's hard slapper deflects and goes out of play. 2-0 Peters Township here in the first.
Yeah, it went off the side of the net, so puck will stay in the Peters Township end. Clock down to 4:19.
Face off to the right of Wilbert. And then cleared immediately by Peters Township, trying to get that quick transition game. Steal by Anthos on a giveaway by Karapandy, but Turkovic saves the day and gathers it back in for North Allegheny, then clears.
Not a good play there by Karapandy, just softly trying to clear it and almost cost him. Whew.
Have to be very careful at another giveaway. Pass in front toward Anthos, but that an aerial goes all the way through.
Yeah, Crean just couldn't keep it in.
Turkovic, headman pass toward Lamarck, but trying to stay on sides, cannot play it.
But it was tipped, though, the Tigers, so it was not an offsides play. Or an icing play, excuse me.
It was neither.
Yeah.
Neither offsides or icing as the puck ends up in the Tigers' bench area. North Allegheny trailing 2-0 is Lehman with one of the goals for Peters Township. In the first by Connor Gilorowski. Gilorowski's goal coming at the 7:23 mark of the first, and Lehman's goal at the 8:32 mark. Not long after, as we are late now in the first period.
Shots on goal. That's got to be wrong now. They're saying 12-4, which I know is not right, so shouldn't be anyways.
Wilbert, wrister. Oh, and that caught the shoulder of Karapandy. Might have deflected off the crossbar as well, and then out of play.
Boy, he came down a lot of room on that left-hand side. And they continue to try to go up top shelf on Karapandy. That time they got the shoulder, got the save.
Face off to the right of Karapandy. Draw one by the Indians. Crean feeds it right to Poon. Hammers it into the right corner. All the way to the left side, near boards. Crean back behind the net. Tigers give chase defensively. Turkovic trying to outman Lehman. Lehman gets to it now. Indians, shot on net by Wilbert, blocked by Karapandy.
Boy, good give and go there by Wilbert.
Indians cannot keep the puck in. Flutters near center red. Tigers build a rush. Watkins checked. And now we've got a whistle as a high check there. Knocks the helmet off of Dylan Watkins.
Yeah, Wilbert's going to get the penalty. We'll see what it's going to be called, and we'll see if it's a 4-minute possibly. Whether it was an elbow or what they're going to call. Referees are talking things. Actually, not Wilbert, excuse me. It was Wilbert, yeah. I wouldn't be surprised to see 4 minutes here on that check, because I mean it did knock the helmet off of him.
And that could be what is of discussion, as there's the hit. Looked like the shoulder there of Wilbert. And he leveled Dylan Watkins, the junior for North Allegheny. Watkins, who's had a good year, 3 goals and 9 assists in the regular season.
Let's see if the referee's going to come over here and finally make the official call. We'll wait for the official announcement because we don't hear, no signal whatsoever either. It just whispering through the little hole there. Wait for the official announcement. We know the Tigers got power play.
Yeah, they will issue the penalty here on, well, they send Colin DiNardo to the penalty box.
Wonder if it's a,
which
I'm not going to speculate.
Yeah, which Wilbert was the player, which we clearly saw on our replay, was the one who delivered the crushing blow on Watkins. The most important thing, though, it's North Allegheny with a power play.
Yeah.
Head contact and a misconduct.
And another penalty for Peters Township. Or actually, no.
This is going to be on North Allegheny.
Tigers. Yep.
The Indians had a steal there by Underwood. And the Tigers trying to prevent an open shot on net there. There's the tripping call
Duderstadt
on Tyler Duderstadt. So the power play was short-lived for North Allegheny. And now we'll be at even strength, but the services of Andrew Wilbert will be no longer with the misconduct head contact hit.
That's a shame for the Tigers, though. You want to creep back into this game, but
tripping call official on Tyler Duderstadt. So we'll play a little 4-on-4 ice hockey for a while. A lot of open ice. Puck knocked down by Simons, far boards. Simons trying to muscle in behind the net, looking for a wraparound stop made, rebound. Lamarck trying to get after it, but it's fed away by Peters Township. Miller keeps the puck in for North Allegheny. Skates by one defender. Rister goes wide right. Fancy stick work there by Aaron Miller. Cannot get a shot on net, though. Simons now has a chance in the slot, but his shot attempt deflects out of play.
Boy, 3 good opportunities there for the Tigers. Lamarck fanned on a little bit of a chance and had a second opportunity, just shot that wide, but Wilbert having to be tough there. He said the open ice, Tigers taking advantage of that right now.
So we'll have 4-on-4 hockey for another minute as the Indians now win the draw, and they start a 2-on-2 rush as Schwartz puts on a wrister save by Karapandi. And 56 seconds left in the Wilbert penalty, that being Andrew Wilbert of Peters Township, and then 1 minute and 8 seconds remaining in the Duderstadt penalty. So we'll have 12 seconds of a power play for Peters Township at some point, but that being minimal time. Draw in the Tigers zone. Indian Schwartz, wrister stopped by Heil in front. Still loose, Anthos can't get a shot on net. Turkovic able to chop the puck down. Now in front, Schwartz trying to backhand it in, but he was muscled over by Nathaniel Heil. Slapper will go wide left as we have under a minute to go in the first period.
What a play by Antos earlier on to duck out of the check and then put the centering pass on to Schwartz, who just shot it wide.
Near boards, corralling the puck is Mitchell Crean. Crean with a head of steam. Checked by Heil off the puck. Raymore weaving through. Back to Crean. Crean creeps in. Finding Deemer, but a tough angle there. Trying to pound the puck in. Could not. Puck comes to Crean. He whistles one wide right.
Power play on. Now not.
That brief power play is over for Peters Township. Just as quickly as it came, it's gone. Down to the final 10 seconds of the period. Indians still in the Tiger zone, 5 seconds. Underwood checked off the puck by Aaron Miller. Tigers clear it, and that ends the first, with Peters Township leading 2-0 over the North Allegheny Tigers. The Penguins Cup Class AAA semifinals. We'll have the second period when we return right after this, as you are watching the 2018 PIHL Penguins Cup High School Hockey Playoffs, sponsored by the PIHL, and only here on the Trib Live High School Sports Network.
People ask what drives me. It's the respect I have for my opponents, the trust I have in my teammates, a coach who treats me with dignity, and a university that has faith in me on and off the field. That's what keeps me focused, why I practice harder, play my heart out. I play to win. I play for Carlo. Tell us your story using #WhatDriveSYou.
Carlo University is a proud sponsor of the Trib Live High School Sports Network.
Check out the new Trib Live High School Sports Network on social media this season for breaking news, scores, pictures, videos, links to our articles, and more. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram under the handle Trib Live HSSN. Get in the conversation on Facebook at facebook.com/Trib Live HSSN. And on our YouTube channel, you can find thousands of interviews with local student athletes and coaches, plus highlights and full games. The spot for Western Pennsylvania high school sports on social media this season is the new Trib Live High School Sports Network.
And we are back at the RMU Island Sports Center, where it is 2-0 Peters Township over the North Allegheny Tigers in the Class AAA semifinals. Game 2 tonight from this location, also covered here live on the Trib Live High School Sports Network. It'll be Seneca Valley, the 2 seed, against the 3rd seeded Cathedral Prep Group, and Sean Myers and Greg Finley will bring you all the action in that one. Slated to start at 9:15, but we've already had a few stoppages in the first period because of a stop clock and scoreboard here at the RMU Island Sports Center.
Do you think Erie Prep's going to be able to get out of Erie with all that snow that they've had? Another 10 inches of snow the other day up in Erie.
They probably just want to stay here. I wouldn't blame them. We're ready to start the second period, as Lang and Paraguay are for the opening draw, won by Paraguay or the Tigers. North Allegheny, wrister by Mazer, and the puck skitters behind the net and cleared out by Peters Township, and that will be an icing on the Indians. Tigers right to left in the second period, the Indians left to right. Tigers are the Road Blacks as the lower seed. They are the 4 seed in the AAA bracket. Peters Township the top seed and reigning AAA champions.
Yeah, championship again. It's Tuesday night coming up, winner of this game.
And when we get to intermission, we'll tell you what's happened in the other classifications as far as the semifinals thus far.
Some exciting games.
Some high-scoring games, too.
That's for sure.
My goodness. Another icing on Peters Township, so we'll have a draw back in the Indians' end. 2-0 Peters on goals by Connor Gilorowski and Mark Lehman.
Got the student section for North Allegheny not having much to cheer about right now, other than a few hard checks.
To their credit, they've still kept the volume up.
Oh, yeah, they're staying in the game. That's their job, though.
Face-off this time taken and won by the Indians. Play it into the Tiger zone where it's retrieved by Simons. Simons and the Tigers unable to penetrate the Indian zone. Check put on Anthos by Tyler Duderstadt. Almost sent him all the way into the Indians bench. Now a wrist shot that deflects wide right off the stick of Gilorowski. Keeping the puck in. Top left, it's Crean. Into the right corner. Cleared out. Jeffrey Poon gets to it for Peters Township. Poon angles it along the boards behind the North Allegheny cage. A little pitch and catch between Simons and Bernardo Vieira as North Allegheny briefly into the Indian zone, but Crean there to prevent very much penetration. Crean headman pass to Anthos. Anthos down to one knee, but as the puck swiped right off his stick by Bernardo Vieira. Along the near boards, up ahead to Miller. 2-on-2 for the Tigers. Puck behind Lamarck. Chops it toward Miller. Miller from the right wing will skate past the defenseman. Trying to center one up, but the puck chopped off his stick by Connor Gilorowski. Good defense. Puck bounces past Putnam and then cleared out by the Indians. Vieira to Lamarck. Enters the zone. Lamarck, nice move on Crean. Backhands a centering pass toward Miller. But it's cleared out by Schwartz for Peters Township. 2-0 Indians. We're early in the second.
And unfortunately, the puck going in down, they're going to call an icing call. Wow. That went right past the North Allegheny defenseman, where the icing was. I think it's a break for the Tigers there. The Tigers down 2-0, trying to get that first goal here.
Goalkeeper Alex Wilbert, last season in the semifinals, posted 27 saves in a 7-0 shutout of North Allegheny. As Watkins with a shot. Oh, and it's trapped up against the post by Wilbert. Then a hard hit late there, but just protecting the crease was Peters Township's Ryan Lee.
Yeah, Watkins had two good opportunities just before that face-off, and then that chance there, trying to go short side, and thought maybe he beat Wilbur. Wilbur's able to make the save.
And he somehow trapped it against the side of the net or the post, but either way, Wilbert did not permit the goal, as it's still nothing Peters Township. But again, Wilbert had a shutout against North Allegheny in the semis last year. And he had a shutout earlier this season on November 7th at home at South Point, part of a 3-0 win for Peters Township. Raymore has the puck stolen away by Paraguayer. Now the Tigers with a 3-on-2. Skating in, Rister off the blocker. Saved by Wilbert as Watkins goes crashing into the net.
Yeah, Watkins was looking for a penalty. I think it was Deemer was the one that tripped him up a little bit. That I think it was Watkins. He thinks Watkins tripped him up, but I don't think he did. I think he maybe just lost the edge. But nonetheless, a good save there by Wilbert.
Yeah, Watkins frustrated, but Paraguayer denied, and then Watkins went crashing into the cage, knocking it off its pegs. Still 2-0 Peters Township in the second period. Early on in the stanza, steal by Simons, trying to drop the puck off, but now the Tigers stay on sides after the steal. That is taken by Vincent Abel. Abel, who is making his return tonight after an injury that has kept him out of action for 6 weeks. So I'm sure it has to be a great feeling for Vincent Abel to return tonight in the PIHL semifinals. But right now he'll swing back to play some defense. As Abel gets to the puck near his own blue line. Duderstadt loses it. Wilbert. That being Eric Wilbert. Playing it in, but only briefly, is North Allegheny. And Colin O'Neill angles it behind the Peters Township net. Tigers for a line change. Indians try to move it in transition, try to catch the Tigers quickly. Lehman, though, will bang it into the left corner as the Indians go for a line change as well.
Yeah, fresh troops on for both teams.
Under 13 minutes to go in the second period. 2-0 Peters Township on goals by Connor Gilorowski and Mark Lehman. Heil deflects it off of Anthos. Almost onto the stick of Morrison. He chases it down toward the right corner.
Yeah, Morrison didn't see it.
Puck corralled and almost put on net there by Christopher Hanlon. He had a goal in the quarterfinals against Butler. Oh, centering efforts, but just deflects away before it gets to Torrey Schwartz of Peters Township.
Yeah, nice play by O'Neill finding Schwartz.
Anthos comes open in the slot. Centering pass with the backhand, but it's onto the stick of Heil, Nathaniel Heil of North Allegheny. Cannot clear, though. Gilorowski back in front. No one can chip it in, though, for the Indians.
The Tigers finally able to clear.
Now it's Miller. Miller leaves it for Lamarck. Lamarck in some space, wrist shot, but getting a clean look at it was Alex Wilbert for the save. Still 2-0 Peters Township.
Boy, he had Putnam trailing, and unfortunately, I don't think he saw him. Putnam would have had a great opportunity, but he turned around and shot. You can see Putnam coming in from just behind him. But a good shot on goal, but I think Putnam would have had a great chance.
Draw one by the Tigers, but it leaks into the neutral zone. North Allegheny sends it back in. Lamarck knocked off his skates. It's still on the ice, trying to get it to a teammate. Putnam puts it on net, then comes loose. Wilbert had some trouble securing that puck, but eventually is able to smother it.
Yeah, Wilbert was undecisive whether he was going to smother it or not smother it, and Lamarck came in there thinking there might be a loose puck, but he finally decided, I better hang on to this thing.
A little more pressure in the second period from North Allegheny, despite trailing 2-0. So desperately trying to get that first goal of the evening here in the semis. Turkovic soccers the puck toward Putnam. Indians take it away, though. Hard off the near boards. Underwood in a tussle with Lamarck. Now it's Deemer taking off the puck. Underwood gets the puck right back. Underwood skates in. Backhand stopped by Karapandy.
Big save there on the backhand attempt by Underwood. Boy, I thought Underwood was going to find the back of the net. Karapandy says no. Both teams will make a line change here. Been entertaining so far, though, Randy.
As we expected, both coaches anticipating a close game. Neither one were quite sure how this game would play out, whether it would be more defensive or higher scoring, but 2 goals, kind of a quick spurt there by Peters Township in the first. Back-to-back goals, but otherwise the defenses have held strong. Gilorowski and Lehman, the 2 goal scorers for the Indians.
Yeah, Wilbert's made a couple key saves for Peters Township.
Player loses his skates. Jack Lang trying to get after that puck. Would have had a good scoring opportunity, but could not maintain his balance. Now Watkins 3-on-3 here for North Allegheny. Good poke check. I believe that was Crean with the effort. And now Lehman with a high arcing puck into the Tigers zone. Karapandy comes way out of the net to try and stick it away, put on net. Save actually by a North Allegheny defenseman there in Tyler Duderstadt. And now we've got a stoppage, but boy, Karapandy came way out of the net, and he almost paid the price as the Indians set one toward the cage, but alert defense by Tyler Duderstadt stopped the effort.
Yeah, Duderstadt not once but twice as Karapandy came sliding out, and the shot there by Lang. Duderstadt there to make the save, and then sliding around to the other side of the crease to make the save also.
Well, on the stat sheet, and it probably won't go down that way, but Duderstadt should get credit for a couple of saves there.
Tigers only had 4 players on the ice. Going to get another player out there. They're strongly signaling, hey, we need another guy out there.
It's not a power play,
yeah.
So get your 5th man out there, and the Tigers do. Offsides, North Allegheny.
Yeah, circle that play with about 10 minutes to go here in the second period. Duderstadt making that not 1 but 2 saves. He goes shots on Cole, but not saves for Karapandy, though.
It was a gamble by Karapandy.
I think he made the right gamble, just didn't get a lot of stick on it, though. That was the problem.
Steal by Miller. Trying to streak through numerous Peters Township defenders, could not successfully. Now Schwartz with a head of steam near boards. Schwartz hampered by Turkovic. Poon passes it top left behind the net by Ryan Lee. Back to Lee, top left point. Wrists one. Almost ends up on the stick of Schwartz, but could not knock that bouncing puck down. Gilorowski, instead of taking a lick, he laid one on, but the Tigers clear it. Now it's Miller. Miller, shot on net, stopped by Wilbert. Tigers trying to keep the heat on, though. Turkovic won't allow the Indians to clear. He'll play it toward the far boards. Now the Indians, Raymore, will send it to the neutral zone.
Unfortunately, that's all he could do. Nobody on home on the right wing.
Turkovic trying to muscle his way through, does so behind the Peters Township net. Shimko trying to help him out. Indians moving along the near boards, and now here comes Underwood. Underwood, wrister, blocked by Karapandy. Puck still in play, though. Raymore trying to backhand it in front with a centering pass. He'll come in himself. Oh, beautiful move, but a good stop by Karapandy.
Yeah, Karapandy getting away with that because he gave up that rebound. Should have been able to glove it, and No icing call here on the opposite end.
Crean will have to play it. Does so to Lee. Lee to center red. Check by Hanlon on Underwood. Hanlon, who had a couple of goals in the quarterfinal win for the Tigers against Butler. 2-0 Peters Township as we near the 8-minute mark of the second period.
Tigers trying to find a way to get that first goal.
Now take away Lehman, 2-on-2 to Raymore, looking for a trailer. Raymore making some moves on his own.
One too many, though. Fold himself.
It looked like he was making so many moves, he wasn't quite sure which way he was going to end up. And the Tigers end up with the puck. But Lang on the forecheck. Leaves the puck for Lehman. Rister goes wide left.
Ooh. He's got a nice wrist shot, doesn't he?
He does. He has one goal tonight thanks to that wrist shot as he sent one to the top shelf. Watkins has the puck poked off his stick by Poon. Back in for the Tigers. Watkins giving chase, but Lang will settle it and careen it ahead toward Wilbert. Puck left for Lang. Trying to backhand it on the cage, but Duderstadt prevents that. Back to Lehman. Tries to angle it in on net. Simons deflects it away. Now onto the stick of Watkins. Watkins streaks along the near boards. Trying to make a move around Poon, cannot. Good defense there by Jeffrey Poon. To the neutral zone. And after a tussle, here is Schwartz. Rister gloved by Karapandy.
Yeah, unfortunately, on the other end, there was a 1-on-4 for Watkins as he couldn't come up with anything. But the good rush on the other end by Peters Township. But Karapandy had to be sharp. Still 2-0 Peters Township. 6:35 to go here, second period.
Gilorowski and Miller on the draw. Won by North Allegheny. Lamarck, 2-on-2. But unable to beat his man, that being Ryan Lee. Lamarck back up off or onto his skates. Lamarck looking for some help. He finds Vieira. Vieira, a little bit of space along the right wing circle, skates in behind the net and then deflects off of his stick off the mesh netting and out of play.
Well, that's one name we have not called a lot tonight was Vieira. He had such a key game against Butler, but very quiet here so far tonight.
Now, Vieira, an all-star for North Allegheny, had a team-high 13 assists in the regular season. But the Indians have done a good job of taking some of the bigger names of North Allegheny out of the mix. Aaron Miller, we've called his name, but he's not had very many good scoring chances tonight. And Miller, who had 17 goals in the regular season and a hat trick in the quarterfinals against Butler. And you won't find that stat really anywhere else because the official scoring had Miller credited for 2 goals, but he really had 3. Is Underwood after the steal, missing on the wrister.
Hit the pipe.
Off the right post.
Yeah, we know Miller had 3.
Yeah, we saw it, and we confirmed it with the NA coaches. So Miller had 3 goals, and there was also a Butler player who had a goal, Beck McLean, who actually wasn't credited with one either. Here's Bernardo Vieira trying to stick handle his way through a couple of men. Takes on a hard check in the right corner that was laid on by Jake Deemer.
You see why this team's so good in Peters Township defensively.
Underwood across the rink, skating in. Raymore leaves it in front for Deemer and somehow couldn't get it into the net.
Boy, what a good tic-tac-toe pass. Deemer just can't finish.
Beautiful looking play.
Wow.
Under 5 to go is an icing on North Allegheny. Will put the face off deep in the Tiger zone.
Boy, was that a pretty passing play by Peters Township. Almost making it 3-0. Karapandy, but it looked like a pretty good save there.
Now, Karapandy, despite the fact that Peters Township leads this game, he has played well because the Indians have had the better of the scoring chances. Regardless of what the shots on goal count may be, the Indians have had the better chances, and Karapandy again, has been up to the task despite the deficit. Oh, and that one deflected wide right. I believe that was Wilbert in front.
Yeah, I believe so. Andrew just got a piece of that, just deflected it wide.
Puck soccered forward out to the center red. Mazer checked off the puck, and now it's Wilbert. Wilbert centering pass, but it's off target. And now the Tigers trying to start on 2-on-2. Vincenzo Mazer with Watkins trailing. Paraguay trying to keep it in, cannot. Wilbert, that being Andrew Wilbert, on the puck on the far boards. Andrew Wilbert centers one toward Lehman, can't get any wood on it, and the Tigers clear.
Boy, Lehman, a great opportunity. Watkins couldn't get back defensively, and that just fanned on the opportunity.
Under 4 to go in the second period. 2-goal lead for the Indians. Now it's Eric Wilbert. Gilorowski flutters the puck toward the net. It goes wide left. Eric Wilbert giving chase into the right quarter. North Allegheny hammers it off the far boards. Miller takes a check of the back from Eric Wilbert.
And it's going to be a penalty. That's going to be a cross check right there.
Now out in the open ice. Pretty easy call. And as we always say, Lee Mohn, if we can see it, then you know the officials saw it.
Without a doubt.
So that will give North Allegheny a power play here with 3:35 to go in the second period.
And how important is this?
Well, if North Allegheny is to ever get back into this game or get a goal here against Alex Wilbert, now is the time.
Tigers had an opportunity in the first period, but they about 5 or 10 seconds in, they gave it right back.
Yeah, tripping call gave that power play away. So the cross-checking on Eric Wilbert, and North Allegheny with the power play, trailing 2-0. We can call it the first true power play of the night for North Allegheny, because the last one, as we said, lasted only 12 seconds. That was in the first period. Puck jammed up on the near boards. 4 players digging after it. Eventually shoveled out. Lamarck on his hindquarters past a Duderstadt. Now it's Miller. Miller, nice move around a defender. Puts it in front in the crease. Hammered in and a goal. North Allegheny cuts it to a 2-1 game.
There's the traffic out front. I want to say Paraguay possibly with it, but it all started with Aaron Miller on the nifty move around the Peters Township defenseman along this left wing. What a great move around the defenseman there by Miller, throwing it out front. Paraguay was there. I think he's the one that championed him, possibly Lamarck. One of the two. We'll wait for the official announcement, but the Tigers take advantage of the power play, making it 2-1.
And there's the North Allegheny student body. Lee Mohn, they do finally have something to cheer about.
Those bleachers might fall down over there the way they're jumping up and down.
Well, Miller did a great job in setting it up. It is Tyler Lamarck who gets credit for the goal. And Aaron Miller on the assist. And Bernardo Vieira also on the assist.
So we mentioned Vieira about not getting involved. Oh, there he is, getting the all-star. Look out, Peters Township almost a chance right off the face-off.
And don't blink. Oh, and a wrister from the right wing circle, stopped and trapped against the chest by Karapandy on that attempt by Torrey Schwartz. Schwartz, who was the leading scorer for the Indians in the regular season with 13 goals. He had one in the quarters against Plum, part of a 2-1 victory. So again, don't blink. So a power play goal for Tyler Lamarck of the North Allegheny Tigers has made this a close game again.
Officially at 14:08, Randy, at the time of the goal.
And we'll give you a rundown of the scoring along with some other highlights when we get to the intermission. Another stop made by Karapandy.
That does get the student section involved here for North Allegheny.
Connor Gilorowski and Mark Lehman with goals for Peters Township in the first period, but Tyler Lamarck with a power play goal here in the second at the 14:08 mark.
I came with a very lucky fan who he wins a lot of 50-50s out of state. So he's hoping that one here.
I saw you scribbling down some numbers. I said, what's Lee Mohn doing? We already know who the goal scorers are.
Yeah,
he's looking for the 50-50.
Oh, he's saying no way.
I see what Lee Mohn's up to.
He talked me into buying them too. And I'll do the old Mark Schuss and just over the shoulder.
Breakaway, Putnam skates in. Oh, and a stop by Wilbert. Makes the save with the right leg pad.
Big save there.
Now it's Raymore with a chance. Sticked away by Karapandi.
Well, what a huge leg save.
Simons leaves the puck to his left. It's Abel. Abel with it in the right quarter. Boy, Wilbert was looking from side to side. He wasn't sure where that puck was. Now Simons digging after it in the left corner. Played ahead by Underwood. Putnam checks him off the puck. Ends up on the stick of Mitchell Crean. Slap shot by Simons goes wide left.
And the Tigers a little bit more spark now after that goal.
Needed something to spark them, and now a steal. Oh, only temporarily, though, by Lamarck. Crean moves it forward. Schwartz trying to use the body there to provide some space as we're under a minute to go now in the second period. And again, when we get to intermission, we'll give you a scoring recap. Oh, and a rebound attempt there, but a good save by Karapandi denying Torrey Schwartz.
He robbed him.
Miller now. Skates by one man. That puck on its edge in front. Miller gets back to it. Save again by Wilbert from a tough angle for Miller. We're down to near 30 seconds to go in this second. Well, the Tigers now suddenly feeling it, but they lose the puck. As Gilarowski with the theft. Gilarowski into the right corner toward Anthos. Only 20 seconds remaining in the period. Backhand Gilarowski, stop Karapandi, and he smothers it as the pushing and shoving continues, as you see that in front. Paraguayer and Anthos and Heil and also others, Schwartz and company. And they are not talking about their dinner plans after the game.
Yeah, I think we're going to see a couple penalties issued out possibly here. Referees looking it over, and we're going to get a couple players going off. Maybe just one.
Well, it's been a clean game thus far, but that's, again, occasional chippiness. This time the Tigers will pay the price, as we'll have a penalty that will carry over into the third on Will Paraguayer.
Yeah, he's the only one.
So Paraguayer takes a seat in the sin bin with 16 seconds left in the second period. But again, this will be a power play that will carry over into the third unless the Indians score right here, which is certainly possible.
Usually you get the retaliation. They did not that time.
Lee, Rister, and cleared by North Allegheny. Puck stopped by Wilbert. He'll leave it for Lee, his teammate. Good check put on by Vincenzo Mazer, and the buzzer sounds to end the second period. And now more pushing and shoving.
Oh boy, a couple gloves are coming off. You gotta be careful here. You don't need to be getting 10-minute misconducts here in the third period.
Well, the student body loves it, but the officials do not. Watkins pumped up for North Allegheny as these teams will head to their respective locker rooms.
I don't know if the coaches like it either,
yeah,
though.
I think you're right. Cooler heads need to prevail, and especially from the North Allegheny perspective, you already have one man in the box. You cannot afford to give the Indians a 5-on-3 when you come out to start the third. But cooler heads, I guess you could say, ultimately prevail there because no penalties were awarded or doled out. And that'll be it for the second period of play. It's 2-1 Peters Township. What a hockey game we have on our hands, Lee Mohn. We will come back after this timeout and review the scoring as you are watching the 2018 PIHL Penguins Cup High School Hockey Playoffs, sponsored by the PIHL and only here on the Trib Live High School Sports Network.
Hi, this is Josh Roundtree with the new Trib Live High School Sports Network's PIHL Power Play Show. This winter, myself and the coach, Kevin Zlomansky, will bring you the most comprehensive coverage of high school hockey in Western PA. Hey, Kevin, any suggestions on how we can pull it off?
We're not goons. We're not bullies. No matter what people say or do, we have to be ourselves.
Okay. Well, word is that you've been letting success go to your head a bit.
Hey, what I do is none of your business. Is that clear?
This should be a fun season. It's the PIHL Power Play Show every Wednesday night at 8 o'clock on the new Trib Live High School Sports Network.
For a weekly in-depth look At boys and girls high school basketball in the district, log on to the WPIAL Roundball Report every Wednesday at 6 p.m. here on the Trib Live High School Sports Network. Join experts Chris Harlan, Sean Myers, and James Dotson for coaches' interviews and the latest hoops news around the WPIAL. Oh, and Don Rebel is back on the show as well. That's the WPIAL Roundball Report, Wednesday at 6 p.m. here on the Trib Live High School Sports Network. While the weather outside may be frightful, the winter...
If you're a working professional ready to move up in your career, Seton Hill University has a program just for you. Seton Hill's adult degree program offers flexible undergraduate degree courses in areas like accounting, criminal justice, business, and human services. The adult degree program has 5 start dates a year and offers convenient course times, financial aid, a 96% placement rate, and career services for life. Register for our next info session and learn more at setonhill.edu/ADP. Seton Hill University, this way up.
380 Discount Warehouse in Murraysville carries a full line of brand new furniture at discount pricing. 380 Discount Warehouse carries Ashley, Liberty, Vaughn Bassett, and Best Home Furniture, and many more. You can special order your furniture at discount pricing. While you're there, shop the many other departments, including tools, automotive, food, pet and wildlife, household goods and cleaning supplies, lawn and garden, and seasonal holiday decor. Visit them on the web at shop380.com or on the road at Route 380 in Murraysville. Open Tuesday through Sunday 9 to 5. Shop 380 Discount Warehouse and save big.
Glad to have you along for the ride tonight on the Trib Live High School Sports Network. And, well, this game, about what we expected in terms of its competitive nature. It's 2-1 Peters Township. And just talk about this game here very quickly, and then we'll get to the scoring summary. But, Lee, this is it's been a closely contested game. The Indians jumped out with a couple of goals early. The Tigers pick up one on the power play in the second period. And this, again, about what we expected moving forward into the third period.
Yeah, I think both coaches are going to be pleased with the way they played. And you can see some of the highlights of the first goal.
First goal there by Connor Gilorowski to give the Indians a 1-0 lead, and then Lehman with the second goal of the contest in the first period at the 8:32 mark. Tigers get that power play goal we spoke of in the second period. Is out of that scramble. It was Tyler Lamarck credited for the goal, that at the 14:08 mark of the second, and assisted by Aaron Miller and Bernardo Vieira. But, Lee Mohn, this, the competitive nature of this game with these two quality ice hockey programs, not surprised at all to see these teams going toe-to-toe.
And literally toe-to-toe towards the middle of that second period on. I mean, there's a lot of hard hitting and some extracurricular activity, especially at the end of that second period. And you saw both coaches going over to the referees and talking about the end of that second period to see how things are going to possibly play out in the third. But it's been an entertaining game and anybody's game right now.
Yeah, again, reviewing the goals for Peters Township at the 7:23 mark of the first. Connor Gilorowski with the first, assisted by Jeffrey Poon and Mitchell Crean. And then a goal just a short time later, Mark Lehman unassisted to give the Indians a 2-0 advantage. It stayed that way until the second, late in the period at the 14:08 mark. Tyler Lamarck with the power play goal as the Indians, a costly penalty as it turned out. Eric Wilbert with a cross-check pretty much wide open in the middle of the ice, and the Indians paid the price for it as the Tigers, as we said it, as the power play opportunity was there. If there's ever a time North Allegheny is going to finally break the ice, no pun intended, in this game, it was going to be there, and the Tigers did capitalize. You have to give credit to what North Allegheny was able to do there.
Yeah, Tigers were able to put some pretty good pressure on the last 6-7 minutes of that second period, and definitely in the help of that power play goal. But Carapani made a couple of really key saves towards the end of that second period too, to keep this game at 2-1.
A look at some of the goaltending today is Peters Township able to stonewall the Tigers
And one on Watkins here, tried to go short side. A good save there by Wilbert also. And another chance here. Wilbert's been sharp. It seems like the Tigers trying to go short side a lot. And you can see the high glove save there by Karapandy, and trying to go short side, trying to go between legs, but Karapandy up to the task.
Yeah, goalkeepers have kept this tight. We talked about the scores, but yeah, the keepers have done a good job. Alex Wilbert, who posted a shutout against North Allegheny on November 7th, a 3-0 win at home. The Tigers outshot Peters Township in that game 38-29, but Wilbert, again, pitching the shutout of that contest, as he did last year in the semifinals. He notched 27 saves in a 7-0 semifinal win for the Indians against North Allegheny. Connor Gilarowski and Jeremy Anthos with 2 goals each in that game for the win. The Indians did go on to win the Penguins Cup and the Pennsylvania Cup last season. North Allegheny, this game tonight is the rubber match of the season series. The Tigers got even against the Indians on January 11th with a 5-1 victory. The Tigers in that game were outshot 35-19, but Richard Karapandy made 33 saves for the victory. Aaron Miller and Will Paraguayer had 2 goals each. Dylan Watkins had a power play goal as well in that Tigers win. I kind of joked with North Allegheny coach Bagnato, Mike Bagnato pregame about the statistics there, that the winning team in those 2 games were outshot. So I said, well, obviously the goal then tonight is to be outshot by your opponent. Obviously you don't want that to happen. No. But nonetheless, it's just the way those went down because of the hot goalkeeping in both games. It was Alex Wilbert the first time around for Peters, then Richard Karapandy in the rematch. So both keepers, as you saw those highlights just a short time ago, they have done the deed yet again tonight, keeping it close. And right now it's a 2-1 advantage for Peters Township as we are at intermission.
Yeah, and you were talking about some of the other games going on. The championships are going to be going on Monday and Tuesday night. Had the semifinals. Armstrong on last night defeating Upper St. Clair 11-4. Yeah, we did say that. 11-4, and Quaker Valley doesn't have just a good basketball program. They got a good hockey team, 3-1 beating Pine Richland. They will meet on Tuesday, March 20th at 5:30 at the UPMC Lemieux Sports Complex. In single A, Bishop McCourt defeated Indiana 7-2. Meadville defeated South Fayette 3-1. Those Bishop McCourt and Meadville will meet on Monday, March 19th at 8:30 at the UPMC Lemieux Sports Complex. And Monday night, again, was Mohn defeating Connellsville in a low-scoring affair 2-1. Burrell, which I had the pleasure to see earlier in the playoffs, defeated Ringgold 6-4. They will meet for the Division II title Monday at 5:30 in Cranberry at the Lemieux Sports Complex. So we're winding down the hockey season, which is a good thing, means baseball and warm weather's coming. But we still got another week and a half yet of hockey, which is a good thing.
And we will have all of the ice hockey championships next week, Monday and Tuesday next week at the UPMC Lemieux Sports Complex right here on the Trib Live High School Sports Network via video stream. So looking forward to that. And, well, both North Allegheny and Peters Township involved in this contest, one of which will be in that AAA title tilt, which will be on Tuesday of next week, set for 8:30 with the face-off, and they'll face the winner. Winner of this game will face the winner between Seneca Valley and Cathedral Prep, which will take place a little later on tonight. And you can watch that game here as well on the Trib Live High School Sports Network as Sean Myers and Greg Finley will bring you all the action in that one. I'm Randy Gore along with Lee Mohn and the fabulous video crew here tonight. Hannah Lepiska, our director, Jess Levo running the show as well, Chelsea Roundtree and Sadie Rylander on the camera. And so it's been
a great crew.
Yeah, it's been a pleasure for us to be a part of all of this tonight, and looking forward to what should be an exciting third period. We're going to take one more break before we get to the third, as you are watching the 2018 PIHL Penguins Cup High School Hockey Playoff, sponsored by the PIHL, and only here on the Trib Live High School Sports Network.
Own your piece of hockey history with a Penguins game-used jersey. Visit J&J Distributing at www.jjdistributing.biz and check out one of their largest selections of Penguins game-worn jerseys from your favorite Pens, past and present. Or call 724-752-1556. J&J Distributing buys, sells, and trades some of hockey's most prized possessions, including the Penguins game-worn jerseys, Penguins practice jerseys, minor league jerseys, and new and game-used equipment. Browse their inventory today at www.jjdistributing.biz.
Hit the ice at Mount Lebanon Ice Center, offering the most comprehensive instructional programs in the area, including hockey, figure skating, and learn to skate classes for all ages and ability levels. Classes start soon along with senior and developmental hockey leagues. Mount Lebanon Ice Center also hosts Friday night teen skates and Friday after school skates for younger children. Birthday party packages also available. Mount Lebanon Ice Center, serving the South Hills for more than 35 years. Call 412-561-4363 or go to mountlebanon.org.
The team at UPMC Sports Medicine doesn't just rebuild wrists and knees. They build better athletes. Athletes at every level who want to get stronger and faster and prevent injuries. Fact is, no other sports medicine program in the region is more experienced when it comes to treating, training, and inspiring athletes. UPMC, the official healthcare provider of the Penguins, Steelers, and you. Find out more at upmcsportsmedicine.com.
It's the third straight year the North Allegheny and Peters Township have met up in the PIHL Class AAA semifinals. And we mentioned how this game marks the rubber match of the season series. It's also the rubber match, I guess you could say, of the semifinal series from the last 3 years. North Allegheny winning in 2016 in overtime, 4-3. Peters Township winning last year in a rout, 7-0, en route to a PIHL and Pennsylvania Cup title. And who will come away victorious tonight? Peters Township with a 2-1 lead. Connor Gilorowski and Mark Lehman with first period goals for the Indians. Tyler Lamarck with a power play goal for North Allegheny in the second. And that's where we sit now. Also, for those watching live, click on the PIHL semifinals hockey highlights that will be posted on the Trib Live High School Sports Network website following the game. And you can find a recap of every semifinal game played thus far in the PIHL playoffs. Well, that was unfortunate timing there for Alex Wilbert, but I'll tell you what, he's played a good game tonight.
He's played a great game tonight, but Wilbert's getting some chuckles up here in the booth, to say the least. But nonetheless, he'll take those falls as long as he wins the game. Without a doubt.
That's right.
Great job by our camera person catching that. But nonetheless, we're going to be starting this third period, and a 1:43 power play. It's a very important time of this hockey game for North Allegheny to try to keep this game a one-goal game.
Yeah, great point, Lee Mohn. This is a power play as we begin the third for Peters Township. 1 minute and 43 seconds remaining in the penalty to Will Paraguayer. As there was a lot of extracurricular activity toward the end of that second period.
And no calls either. So,
with the exception of the penalty to Paraguayer, of course. So fresh ice, and the Indians with a 5-on-4 advantage. And a 2-1 scoring advantage as well. And the North Allegheny student body making some noise here, trying to help their group on the penalty kill. Schwartz with a steal. Feeds it right. Rister trying to get a stick on it was Raymore in front. Could not.
Good stop and keep it in.
Yeah, Tigers could not clear. Gilorowski with those quick hands. Now the Tigers clear. Gilorowski will settle the puck down.
Yeah, I'm sure the Peters Township fans are making as much noise, but we just don't hear them off to our right. That's the problem. They're out of the camera angle. We also.
After the clear by the Tigers, line change for both sides. Watkins on the forecheck, as well as Vincenzo Mazer. Andrew Wilbert. Well, the Tigers doing a great job here, eating up time on this penalty kill. We're down to 27 seconds in the man advantage for Peters Township.
Yeah, I think Watkins tied up for about 30 seconds there. Good job by him.
Anthos bangs it off the near boards to Gilorowski. He surveys the defense. Back to Anthos. Right side. knuckle puck put on net by Crean, stopped by Karapandy. Now it's Lehman trying to deflect one on net, but it is cleared away by the Tigers. Final 3 seconds on the penalty kill, so North Allegheny will kill this penalty as Paraguay out of the box.
Yeah, Karapandy did a nice job on that save because he said that knuckle puck, those are tough to stop.
Sometimes more difficult than the slap shots that come at you seemingly at 90 miles an hour, but it's just because it keeps you off balance.
You expect the puck to get there. You expect it to get there. When's it going to get there?
2-1 Indians early in the third. Near side Putnam. Out of a pile-up of bodies, Peters Township comes out of that scrum. It's Anthos, has a player to his left in the slot. He'll skate in behind the net. Anthos still with it. Try to feed it right side for Ryan Lee. Lee wrister blocked by Karapandy. Young now on it. Tries to steer it toward the net. Never makes it there. Vieira up ahead to Hanlon. He'll flutter the puck towards center red. Gathered in by Young for Peters Township. Puts it on net from beyond the blue line. Karapandy makes that stop. Up ahead to Lamarck. Near the blue line. Miller trying to stay on sides. Loses his edge. Lang, he loses his edge on the fresh ice.
This fresh ice, they're not supposed to be falling like flies. Or falling like penguins.
Tigers bring a couple of fresh legs on the ice.
Where's the puck?
Yeah, puck sent out of play.
Oh, there it is. Thought it got stuck in the rafters there for a second. It finally came down.
They got stuck somewhere, that's for sure. It eventually drops back down to the ice, but that stops the action. As we'll have a face-off just beyond the blue line from the Peters Township zone.
Everybody looking up, including myself. Puck finally fallen.
In this third, the Tigers and the Road Blacks moving left to right. Indians in the home whites right to left across your computer keyboard or mobile device, wherever you may be viewing this game on. And we're glad to have you with us here on the Trib Live High School Sports Network. I'm Randy Gore along with Lee Mohn and a great video crew here tonight. Puck into the Tigers zone and a trailing 2-1. Indians with 2 goals in the first, Tigers with 1 power play goal in the second. Well, we talked about this early on, Lee, who would get that first goal and how important it would be. The next goal, if there is to be a next goal, but if there is one, the next one will be vital.
Very vital. Tigers looking to tie here.
And if the Indians can provide a 2-goal pad again,
look out.
Very detrimental to the Tigers. Kaz Gilorowski rifles one wide left.
Wow, what a move.
The quick hands and the strength there of Gilorowski on full display.
Yeah, you talked about that in the pregame.
Indians try to start a rush. Here's Anthos. Poke checked off his stick. Paraguayer. Checked a couple of times onto his knees. Lehman leaves the puck for Wilbert. Andrew Wilbert, wrister, stopped by Karapandy.
How he saw that, I'm not exactly sure. Good traffic out by Lehman.
Yeah, a lot of traffic and interference, so to speak, in front. Visual interference, of course. Now centering pass, great stop made by Karapandy, and then he's able to somehow stop it. Oh my goodness, highway robbery, Richard Karapandy.
Yeah, I think he got Eric Wilbert on the deflection. Karapandy somehow was able to slide in and make a key save here in the third period to keep this game at 2-1. Wow, what a pass too.
Looked like a yawning net, but Karapandy with the denial. Still 2-1, Peters Township instead of 3-1. Under 12 minutes to go in the third period. Hanlon streaks ahead. Pass to Putnam. Putnam moves in. Wrister blocked with a left leg pad by Alex Wilbert.
Good low shot.
Putnam comes in again. Trying to leave it for Hanlon. Moves it forward, but nobody home for the Tigers. As Young says thank you very much. Nicholas Young for Peters Township. As Eric Wilbert can't hang on to it. Duderstadt far boards. Hammered back in behind the net by the Indians' Mark Lehman. Nearing 11 minutes to play in the third. Tigers go for a line change, leaving the puck deep in the Indian zone. Peters Township will return the favor.
Yeah, content just to dump it right now. The 2-1 lead. Oh, it's the second best defensive team, Peters Township, in the PIHL.
Yeah, giving up only 41 goals in the regular season. Tigers were third, permitting 42 goals in Class AAA. So a couple of the best defensive teams in the PIHL, as that one sent well out of play by Ryan Heil. Or excuse me, Nathaniel Heil, rather.
And I believe that puck's going to come outside the blue line. Probably should. Yep, they will bring it outside the blue line.
Again, a reminder for those watching live, click on the PIHL Semifinals hockey highlights later on. That'll be posted on the Trib Live High School Sports Network website following the game, as we'll recap all the action in this one. Wrister wide right by Raymore.
Yeah, those highlights are just class, too. Love watching those highlights on the website. Yeah, you get action on what the game's like.
Yeah, quick 5-minute recap of your favorite team and favorite game. (2-1) Indians.
Last couple of minutes, not a lot of action here, just dumping in between both these teams.
Yeah, a lot of dump and chase thus far.
Neither team wanting to make that mistake. Peters Township with the best scoring opportunity here in the third period.
Jeffrey Poon swings it to the far side. Backhanded out toward Raymore. Raymore gathers the puck in. He'll leave it in the left corner. Now behind the net for Deemer, who gets to it. Pass to the left wing circle, but nobody there for Peters Township. Mazer, without numbers, gets around Anthos, and he'll backhand it into the corner.
Yeah, I thought Raymore was going to go chase after he dumped it in. Had an opportunity, but went off the ice for a line change.
Anthos to Schwartz. Puck off the heel of his stick, and then Watkins checks him off the puck.
Watkins playing very physical here tonight. Of course, he's been upended a couple times himself.
Young Wrister stopped with the leg pad by Karapandi. Leaves it for Duderstadt. Back behind the cage to Simons. Under 9 to go in the third period.
Ooh. Icing call, yeah.
Icing on the Tigers.
Yeah, the pass went behind Morrison, and that's a mistake that you don't want to make there. Bring the puck all the way back into the Tiger end right now with a 2-1 deficit.
Indians 2 goals in the first. If you're just joining us, Connor Gilorowski, assisted by Poon and Crean at the 7:23 mark, then followed up by a Mark Lehman goal unassisted at 8:32 of the first. Tigers with a power play goal in the second by Tyler Lamarck, assisted by Aaron Miller and Bernardo Vieira. In the left corner, Peters Township centering pass. Wrister blocked in front by Duderstadt on the shot attempt by Lieben. Now Miller, without numbers, will try to do it on his own. Cannot, though, as the defense for the Indians able to set him aside.
And not a surprise.
Indians have done very well for the most part in guarding Miller, as this time an icing on Peters Township.
Yeah, Miller with a 1-on-3, trying to get something through, trying to make something happen there, but could not. But nonetheless, everything working out here for the Tigers, getting that face-off in the Peters Township end.
Draw to the right of Alex Wilbert, won by the Indians and sent out of the zone. Chased after, and it's another icing.
So things have slowed down here the last few minutes of this hockey game. The physicality has sort of dropped off a little bit because I think both teams know now that you don't want to be giving up that power play chance.
And the Indians seemingly playing cautiously at this point. Rick Tingle, the longtime head coach for Peters Township, has been with the Indians over a dozen years. Mike Bagnato in his 4th year leading North Allegheny. Off the face-off. Kept in initially by the Tigers, but now Peters Township will drop it in the left corner by Anthos. Vieira Sends it ahead to Putnam. Puck bounces over the stick of Abel. Now 2-on-3. Indians hard. One-timer by Gilorowski. Gloved out of the air by Richard Karapandy.
They make it look easy, doesn't he, with that glove save? Just snatch it out and say, making it look easy. A good shot there, but nice one-timer, though, but snatching it out of the air. That shot by Gilorowski.
Gilorowski's had another strong night.
Yeah, a few of those wrist shots.
And that one, the one-timer, as you described, Lee. And Karapandy with the denial, flashing the leather. Oh, here come the Indians. Skating through men. Backhand attempt by Underwood, but couldn't get good wood on it. Just kind of off the heel of the stick as the defense eventually caught up to him. And a weak shot on goal.
I'll tell you who's had a strong game so far for Peters Township defensively. Jeffrey Poon made a very nice defensive play on the other end before that rush by Peters Township. But he's been very, very strong here tonight. We're going to have our Trib Live High School Sports 3 stars of the game at the end of this one.
We'll have to think about that quickly.
Yeah, I know. We don't have a long time for that.
It's a tight game as the puck out of play here.
Yeah, Sean Myers and Greg Finley are going to be throwing us right out of here. They want their time.
And well, their time will come with the second semifinal in Class AAA tonight.
Yeah, we control that time, which is good.
Seneca Valley against Erie Cathedral Prep, the Ramblers.
Of course, remember we have Jess Levo over here, though, so she'll throw us off.
2-1 Peters Township as we have under 7 minutes to go, and another icing on Peters. So again, the dump and chase, and we've seen several icing calls in particular on Peters Township. So
yeah, I think we've had many icings here in the last 30 seconds. We've had the whole first two periods. Still 2-1 Peters Township.
Great to have you along with us from the RMU Island Sports Center as the North Allegheny fans watching on. 2-1 Indians as play resumes into the right corner. Schwartz clears it out. But guess what? It's icing on the Indians.
Again. It's been a fun hockey year, though. We say it every year, Randy. It's gone quick.
Yeah, the winter sports season has moved very quickly, as Lee Mohn mentioned earlier on. Also on the Trib Live High School Sports Network tomorrow night, state playoff basketball, so check that out on the network.
Yeah, I know North Allegheny girls, the Quaker Valley boys, Newcastle boys.
Shot by Miller, stopped by Alex Wilbert.
Those are off the top of my head anyways.
And there'll be more over the weekend, I'm sure. Tigers trying to keep the pressure on, down by 1, but have not had sustained pressure in this third period at all. Peters Township content to just really play the icing game.
There's another one.
That time looking for a headman pass for Anthos, but he couldn't get a stick on it.
And the game that's not going to be on the network, Pine Ridgeland and Alderdice boys, if you get a chance, head down to Cannon McMillan on Saturday afternoon. That's right in your neck of the woods.
Yeah, down in Washington County.
A good doubleheader going on down there.
Face-off to the left of Wilbert. Won by North Allegheny, but cleared out by Peters as they come on a rush.
Hey, no icing.
Swung around to the far side. Slapper from the top right point. That hit a couple of sticks on the way through, but set aside by Karapandy. Near boards, Underwood, centering pass. Rister Raymore deflects away. We're under 6 minutes to go here. Still a 2-1 score favoring Peters Township. Indians have slowed the pace to a grinding halt. Tigers have not, again, had much sustained pressure at all, but trying to build a rush now. Watkins on the far boards. Checked off the puck, but still able to stay with it. Looking for Hayden Shimko. Top left point. Rister on net, stopped. And then smothered by Alex Wilbert on that Rister attempt by Turkovich.
Yeah, Wilbert had it, and then it dropped to the ground a little bit. He thought he had it, but had to be sharp covering that puck as that puck was loose. Good wrist shot from the point. So Wilbur made the save, but didn't have quite control of it. And the Korean made sure he tucked it underneath those pads.
And had a little bit of difficulty there, did Wilbert, as we have just a little over 5 minutes left in the third. Duderstadt wrister goes through the wickets of Aaron Miller, who was tied up by a Peters defenseman. Another one that goes through across from left to right, but no Tiger able to put a shot on the cage. Indians out of danger. Now it's Lehman to Wilbert. This being Andrew Wilbert. Feeds it across. Lang back to Wilbert. Sticked away by Duderstadt.
Boy, Lehman all alone on that left post.
Now it's Tyler Lamarck gliding through. Checked by Ryan Lee. Peters gathering the puck in. Lamarck, check that. Duderstadt flutters one to the left of the net. Lamarck knocked down to the ice. As Peters Township regroups, Wilbert will dump it in, and a line change for both sides as we near 4 minutes left.
Yeah, Peters just trying to keep fresh. Peters' defense has been playing quite well. Now the giveaway, though.
Simons looks right. Watkins hammers one, but it misses its target. And then all the way out of the zone on the far side. Now the Indians give chase. Peters Township. Gilorowski leaves it. Oh, but cannot handle it cleanly. Torrey Schwartz.
How about that no-look pass?
Quick one-touch pass there. Oh, and Watkins is leveled up against the post in between the two benches, and Watkins is down on the ice.
And the stick went flying into the bench also.
Oh, that was a dangerous-looking hit, and we sure hope he is okay.
And now the referees are going to decide whether there's a penalty on the play. You could see the hard hit.
Watkins was directed there into that post.
From that replay, Randy, it doesn't look like it was. I wouldn't call penalty on it personally. It looked like a pretty clean hit.
Watkins being looked at by the staff here on the site here at RMU Island Sports Center.
He was just in the wrong place. I mean, he's along those boards, and it looked pretty solid from here.
Now, not done with any ill will or ill intention. He just steered him toward that area of the ice in the post and the plexiglass happens to be there. As you get another look at it, he checked him into it. I mean, there's no doubt, but nonetheless, kind of just the unfortunate position to be in at that part on the ice.
Yeah, the penalty box door was open down there, but there will be no penalty. I think it's a good call.
Yeah, a clean hit by Peters Township, and it's no call, if you will. So it stays 5-on-5 ice hockey. Tigers trailing by 1, 2-1. Peters Township with the lead since the first period, but it's just a 1-goal lead right now. Out of the left quarter defensively, Jeremy Anthos sends it into the Tiger zone. Forecheck Schwartz tries to chop it toward Anthos in front, but now the Tigers build up a rush. Here comes Turkovic, has Miller to his left. Turkovic in the right quarter. Will skate in behind the net, but just checked enough to be taken off the puck. Anthos trying to do it all on his own while his teammates go for a line change. Miller will spin away from a defenseman. Takes on a check in the neutral zone. Deemer will poke it back and now gain command. Deemer with some space. Slapper off the leg of Turkovic. And now the Tigers' Tyler Putnam can't hang on to it. Floated into the left quarter by Peters Township. Just a little over 2 minutes left in this game in the PIHL semifinals.
You're thinking about when to pull your goaltender now.
Steele Peters. Raymore. Looks to Underwood in front. Taken off the puck, but the Indians just eating up valuable time here. Time is the friend of Peters Township. Paraguayer just off the bench with a steal and almost ended up with a breakaway there. icing on Peters Township. 1:48 remaining.
Now the strategy, we'll see if North Allegheny takes a timeout here. Your team has used one yet. The talk strategy, but they will not yet. So trying to get the other coach looking to Carapandi right now. Telling Carapandi to move up the ice a little bit, and he doesn't hear the coach shouting at him. Now he does. Now he's coming off. Look out. And he falls down.
That puck dangerously close to the empty net, but it goes wide left.
Well, Carapandi was skating off the ice, and then he fell down at the blue line and then was scrambling to try to get back in, and thankfully for North Allegheny, that puck did not find the back of the ice. And now they will go with that extra tacker. What's a lot of minute 18 left, minute 37 left. Tigers will pull that goaltender. So chances now for the Tigers.
And right off the draw, here comes Gilorowski. Cannot get the empty net goal. Tigers still alive, trailing 2-1. Well, Gilorowski, he was just a matter of inches of clinching the game for Peters Township.
And how about Gilorowski? 1-on-4 right now and controlling the puck for 15-20 seconds down there.
1:09 left. Watkins to the right corner with it. Tigers trying to center one up. Bouncing puck in front. Set aside by the Indians. Tigers keep the pressure on. Paraguayer into the right quarter. Indians try to clear. Cannot. The goaltender is pulled here for North Allegheny, and the Indians still eating time. 42 seconds to go. And now the clear.
A quick change of troops for Peters Township for these last 40 seconds.
What a great semifinal game we've had here. Indians leading 2-1. Tigers trying for one more rush. Clear. No, it's kept in by Vieira. Now it is cleared out by the Indians. Down to 20 seconds. Deemer just leaves it in the right quarter.
One last rush if they can.
This will have to be it for the Tigers if they can do it cleanly. 10 seconds. Duderstadt ahead to Lamarck on the rush. Swept aside by the Peters Township defense. Paraguayer cannot get a shot off, and the Peters Township Indians going back to the Penguins Cup Finals with a 2-1 victory over the North Allegheny Tigers.
Boy, what a great effort there by Peters Township. The defense for the last 7-8 minutes was just outstanding, Randy. A lot of icing calls, but still just great defense by Peters Township, limiting the chances for the Tigers, and they will move on to the finals.
Well, we will go quickly here. We'll segue now to our Trib Live High School Sports Network's 3 stars of the game. Our third star for North Allegheny, goalkeeper Richard Carapandi. Our number 2 star tonight for Peters Township, who scored the first goal of the evening, Connor Gilorowski. And our number 1 star, got to go with the Peters Township goalkeeper. That performance down the stretch, Alex Wilbert, your number 1 star of the game. So that'll do it here from the RMU Island Sports Center. In our first semifinal broadcast of the night, the Peters Township Indians defeating the North Allegheny Tigers 2-1 on the Trib Live High School Sports Network.
You have been following the PIHL Penguins Cup High School Hockey Playoffs on the Trib Live High School Sports Network and sponsored by UPMC Sports Medicine, by J&J Distributing, by the Mount Lebanon Ice Arena, by Excella Health, by Seton Hill University, by 380 Discount Warehouse, by AstroTurf, by Carlow University, and by Trib Total Media. Follow the high school hockey playoffs every day by logging on to hssn.triblive.com. The preceding has been a special presentation of the Trib Live High School Sports Network.
And it never